This may seem odd, but imagine a world where four forces act seamlessly as one. That's the power of net-centric warfare. One Navy, one Air Force, one Marines, one Army, one force. Northrop Grumman, defining the future.
From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now here are Hotline editors Chuck Todd and John Mercurio.
It's Hotline TV, everybody. I'm John Mercurio.
I'm Chuck Todd. The Foley scandal has done more than just cost Republicans at least one seat in the House. It could cost them control. How many seats are now truly in play only because of the scandal's fallout? John, let's make the list. You started.
It's so funny because there are all these candidates in sort of like lower second tier, third tier races. A lot of these people whose names I barely know, who are now suddenly, if this Foley scandal, we've got to wait, I think, until next week to really get good polling, reliable polling, to see if a lot of these races have become competitive. But are we talking about like Congressman Charlie Brown in California, or Congresswoman Tessa Hafen in Nevada too?
Remember in '94, it got so bad, we got people like Steve Stockman, who now is sort of a running joke in Texas. There's a guy who now, Funderburk. I think there was that guy, David Funderburk, who ended up in like a car accident in the middle of because he was with something or other. It was a weird situation. There were about 9 or 10 members, and remember, immediately Democrats picked up 9 seats. It was literally the 9 idiots. It was sort of these were the kids that got on the small campaign bus. The
campaign short bus. Sure.
There are some. I mean, it's like now there'll be a few that will be just as nutty as that.
But in '94, all those people won.
Is it Charlie Brown?
Democrats picked up seats in '96, but they held on to the majority.
Yeah.
Dan Maffei, sure, absolutely. Chris Carney in Pennsylvania.
No, well, Carney's a different story.
But I'm saying, I think he's being helped out by this scandal.
What you have is I think, to describe these Democrats better, they are non-gadfly, on paper seem legitimate people. They're coming across well in their communities. Reporters take their calls.
They've all raised it.
And they've raised
reporters take their calls. Yeah. Not that reporters call them, but reporters respond.
Well, at least respond to their press release. And they probably raised a couple $100,000, maybe upwards of $500,000, $600,000 in some of these cases. We're not talking about the complete and crazy gadflies, the Ralph Nader type.
Yes, Congressman Joe Barton, you are safe.
Yes, you are. Yes.
And so are you, Mac Thornberry, if you're still in Congress.
But I do think, particularly, the places to focus, I think, are on women Democratic challengers.
That's exactly right. Monica Lindeen, Tessa Hafen.
Yeah, I mean, they might benefit a little bit, just sort of like when there's an ethical cloud, women are just seen as more trustworthy. They're less a woman is just less likely to be involved in a sex scandal. Right. Let's just be realistic. We've yet to have one.
Not to pile on on the Republicans, but this is another example of why it was so good of the Democrats to invest in those second tier and third tier races. They did. They always had the first tier that they wanted to talk about going into the midterms. But the second and the third tier was strong, and they knew that in case this national wave, and they didn't know it was going to be about Mark Foley, but in case this national wave turned into something real, they wanted to have that second tier able to run competitively.
Right. So Francine Busby, wax the surfboard.
Nice.
Monica Lindeen, get your mountain hiking gear.
Charlie Brown. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Charlie Brown.
Lucy may not pull the football from you, buddy. Yeah, see? Had to do that. Jerry McNerney, I hope I even said that right.
I know, that's the other thing, is that all y'all are going to be elected, potentially. None of us are going to know who the hell you are, and we're going to be talking
Some
about
of you are going to be interesting and new stars, like, out of nowhere type of people, and some of you are going to be David Funderburk.
Give us a call.
Let us know, will you?
Of course, if the scandal blows up anymore, those districts could be just the first wave to fall, but we'll follow that through the next 4 weeks.
God help us all. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chuck Todd.
And I'm John Mercurio. We'll catch you tomorrow on Hotline TV.